For the next race of the Beginners Cup, I'm of course here. I'm joined by Ash again.
Hello, and this week I'd like to introduce a friend of mine, or I should say, hello, to my favourite brummie, OFR River.
That's how we're going to start. Okay, I see this. Okay. Hello, welcome everyone. This is OFR.
He told me to do that when I joined the party before you did. The other one, he goes, "Oh, so you introduce me to him, and I'll introduce Orthed."
I'm sorry, Orthed, but there's a lot of people who want to hear you.
That's all right. I don't mind. It's a pleasure to be allowed up from trackside up to the commentary booth.
Yes. So, after the last race at Spa, it was Weird TV that won, doing an incredibly different strategy, going on the hard tyres and somehow making it work. We'll see if he can do a similar thing here again. What are we thinking for strategy ahead of this one?
Haven't done a practice run a little bit earlier. I'm thinking a possible two-stopper, but then again, there might be some people who try and play things a bit differently, I think.
It's a little different to what Alfred Kravitz has been hearing off the pit wall. I've been having a bit of walk around pit lane, shall we say, would be the easiest way. I'm expecting pits to come in around 6-7 laps at a time. Two-stop is a faster over race distance over three-stop, so I think the two-stop strategy is the way to go around here.
And of course, this being a difficult track to overtake on, so it'll be interesting to see, because they not want to be dropping back in track position. It's going to be really crucial around here. It's a very difficult circuit to overtake on. There are few places that you can overtake. What would you two say that the most likely opportunities for an overtake will be then around here?
Turn one, I think.
Yeah, I think turn one, you'll see a lot of last of the late breakers, I think. It's going to be a interesting race. You know, the track time is 2.9 miles as your lap distance in this configuration. Challenging track layout in this form. I expect to see some late lunges while they're in a train. Should be a good track.
By the way, Simon Ford says in the chat, if Alfred says one more time, it's going on mute.
Unfortunately, Mr. Fuller is not very well. I heard that he like Vic and Bob and the Wonder Stuff at the minute, so get well soon, mate.
Oh. Well, yeah. Shame you're not going to be here, you know, at Kawasaki's home race. Hamazaki letting the Kawasaki family down, seeing as it's a Kawasaki-owned circuit from 2005. There's your little stat for you there, mate.
Yep, there you go.
Ash, promised it you.
You did indeed, mate. You did indeed. And I'm very impressed, I must say.
Well then, as we just continue to wait for the practice start, which we shall happening soon, means we'll, as Mick seems to struggle to get into the pit lane. Pit lane's very interesting around here. It's not the easiest of pit entries, I will admit. It's very awkward. Cause you come round onto the final corner and onto the straight, and there seems to be a ridiculously tight chicane as you enter into the pit lane. It's a very awkward pit entry.
I'm just about to do the practice start.
Hopefully everyone... Yeah. Alright, practice start then, which makes sure everyone gets out properly, unlike last week when we had one or two drivers that were struggling to get going, so hopefully everyone's okay. This is fireworks go off in the background again.
sure everyone can get out pit lane.
Interestingly, I've noticed weird TVs on the mediums at the moment, smallies on the hards. I don't know whether they'll stick to that strategy for the start of the race, but, you know, we'll keep an eye on them to see what they're doing. I mean, we saw Weird TV, like I said, last race. He did something a bit different, and it worked for him, so we'll see if he chooses to go down that route again for the strategy.
Yeah, I think that might be a wrong call from him from that with that tyre choice there, Bob.
Vilsack says, hello Vilsack, and welcome. It's just a practice start, so everyone backs out. Looks like everyone got away well, so we should be able to go straight into the actual start.
I'm just waiting for one to leave the pit in before I can say it's successful.
Who are we waiting on then?
Extreme. Mr. Racer Extreme.
He's a golden Ferrari. It's interesting he's gone with the Ferrari. I don't know if you've driven the Ferrari Group 3. It's not the best.
It's lively.
Yes, it's definitely lively.
Struggles on its tyres from what I've heard. I don't drive it much, but from what I've heard, it does struggle on its tyres quite a bit, and once the tyres go, it's very difficult to drive. But on a track like this, we'll see if that causes any problems as his tyres are going out.
Yeah.
Yep, so you go away well. I think we're just waiting for him to back out again, and then should be good. He's gone back out again, so he did come out and then went back into the pits and then came out again. It does, yeah, I kind of agree with Vilsack on that one. The Italia, it does sound good.
It's just the one I'm waiting for. Exit qualifier. Or seems to be the one that you always want to chase.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of Autopolis in real life, but the grass around the track isn't as green as it is in real life as it's been portrayed in the game. Martin in the livery in the chat as well saying gold livery. Ash loves a gold livery.
He does love a gold livery, that's the problem.
You have a gold member, huh?
Yeah, it'd definitely take more than a smelting accident for Ash.
Hello, gold.
Yes, but I have a gold Aston Martin somewhere.
I think I made a gold Pontiac for the Classic Cup last season. Yeah, so
just one more.
Yeah, the Beginners' Cup races have often been quite good at entertaining, so I hope this one lives up to the way the rest of the season has gone so far. Smalley, who'd won the first two, didn't win last time, so...
And now everybody's entered, we will get on the way for real quali.
Ash coming all over Saudi with his gold Aston.
Who said that?
That was Fuller.
No.
It's a shame Fuller's not racing tonight. It'd be nice to see him have a strong race.
He's had a good start to the season, he's Fuller. So, you know, he's had solid finishes. I know this is going to inflate his head, me giving him praise, because I just don't ever give him praise. But, you know, he's had a solid start. It's just unlucky that he's having to miss tonight.
So then here we go, so the qualifying has begun. 8 drivers, 10 minutes to see where they will start. And so on the outlap it is Nils that leads them away on the pit stop. Now interestingly, the tyres that they're in this qualifying is the tyres they start on in the race. Smalley's gone back onto the soft tyres, and I think Weird TV's also on the softs as well, so they've decided against what we thought they were going to do at first. But it's Nils in the FT1 that is leading the way on this outlap, with Smalley in the background. Now I don't think this is the type of track you want to be too close to another driver on.
No, it's a very, very... Once you start getting the infield section around here, it's very, very tight. It's going to be more or less a one lane, especially towards the end of the lap where you've got the tight technical section. It's going to be a very, very one lane sort of track all the way to the finish line, the start-finish line.
So with that in mind, I'd say Smalley just backs off a bit as he comes through the final sector and back in from behind.
Robbo, there's a question from Comtech. How's the whippet?
Good. Oh, actually, Nils has... Anyway.
We've killed Robbo.
Anyway, Smalley managed to get ahead of Nils, so Nils led him through. It leads Smalley to be the first one to come up toward the line now, down toward turn 1 on the brakes. Very tricky braking zone, it's not too tight. Try to get it turned in, accelerate on the exit. Then this is apparently turn 2. Not much of a corner though, just a slight jiggle on the wheel. Then braking again for turn 3, just the curb, tries to roll it round there, but you don't want to go too far out wide because that can compromise your entry to turns 5 and 6. Leads you into a bit of a hairpin at turn 7. Keeping it nice and tight, accelerate. Almost looks like somebody's fighting the car on the exits. They now head round to turn 8 and turn 9. It's a long swooping corner, bit of a downshift on the entry, rolls it through gradually, picks up the throttle on the exit, through into turn 10. That brings you up toward the hairpin, which very difficult. I know I struggled with this braking zone when this track first came to the game. Over the hill, then drops back down the other side of the crest, and then long straight, a second longest straight as he pulls over to the left, and then a very tricky downhill braking zone. Brakes down, shifts, and tries to accelerate through the exit now into the final sector. It's not an easy final sector. It goes round and round and round at turn 13, switches into turn 14, and then switches direction again as they head through turn 15. This one gets longer and longer, and it really has a second exit through onto toward the end of the lap now, through turn 17. It pulls you straight on the throttle coming out of it, which leads you into turn 18, and then there's a long corner. It goes round and round and round. You want to get on the power as soon as possible because you can fling it straight across that inside curve at turn 19, and then a run to the line. It's not the longest run out the final corner. It's a 45.9 from Smalley. Nils doesn't go quick enough to beat that. What about Mick? Here comes Mick across the line now, and is this going to be good enough? No, not quite. Hazy then. Hazy's just in the final sector now, so he's heading through the final couple of corners in toward turn 18. So we'll see what Hazy can do. He had a good run in Spa, and it looks like he's gone a little bit wide through turn 18, so it's going to compromise his run onto the straight across the curb. But they're trying to take as much of it as possible, and it doesn't seem to be the best of laps. 55 from him. Next up is Envoy Extreme in the Ferrari. Now we'll see how he gets on. He almost looks that he's trying to struggle, as you can hear the car screaming as he's trying to hold on to the edge of the grip as he comes around the final corner. He seems to have been a very disappointing lap from a 2:20 for Envoy. So we'll see if he's struggling with that. Next up is Multi, who's coming up to the line in the Porsche, and he goes into 4th place. Weird TV was looking absolutely rapid in Spa. Is he quick enough here in Autopolis? He does indeed go onto pole position. And here we go then.
There's one more. There's Charlie Boy to come.
Charlie Boy, here he comes round now through turn 18 and on to the final corner in the other Toyota. We'll see if he's good enough for pole position. It's a 45.8 that he has to beat, and across the line he's not done it, but he's very much in that fight for pole.
Bill Sexton, shortest lap of the season so far. It is the shortest lap of the season so far. So we've got the longest tracks to start off with. Hopefully they'll start getting a bit shorter from here with a little bit of luck.
I think
TV's just gone purple in sector 1.
Yeah. The laps have been quite long. They've been over 2 minutes for the first 3 races of the season, so this is the shortest one. Doesn't necessarily make it the best one though. But anyway, into the ring sun, yet with TV's still purple by quite a margin. Here you go then, down the hill. It's looking...
in sector 1.
And so far so good. And as we just watched Weird T, he's got Multi just in front of him, but Multi's gone off the track as they head round turn 13. Just to come up around now into turn 17 then, as he's coming toward the end of the lap. He was up in sector 1 and he was up in sector 2, so he's going to raise the bar to his own pole position time. Just missed out on pole and Sparta Smalley. Here he is going to go for pole though, in or top, plus doesn't take as much curb as we saw Hazy do on the previous lap and across the line, and he doesn't improve, so he's lost time in the final sector.
I wonder if that was just the tyre starting to go away from him there.
Might be.
Because this track, I would say, out of all the tracks so far, this is the hardest track on tyres we've had so far this season.
WTV's backed out to go into the pits and he's going to be coming back round again. Start where he's got enough time. No one's... Well, we've seen so no one's driven themselves into the pits. As we said, Jardy Boy goes into the pits. That'll be for fresh tyres and to keep the fuel load as light as he can at the moment. That will give him a shot at maybe pole position. Only 1.5 attempts he needs. He should be able to get round for a lap, and he'll only have the 1 lap remaining. What's Smalley going to do? Smalley going to go into the pits. He does indeed. And manages just to get it slowed down enough, gets it into the pit lane. So Smalley's in as well, Nils is in, Mick's on an out lap, so Mick's just come out of the pits. Multi's sat in the pit lane, so I think he's given up on his qualifying for now. Hazy's on an out lap, and Envoy Extreme was just about to start his second flying lap. It was a very disappointing run from him. Over 2 minutes on the first lap, he's going to want to improve. In fact, I think Multi's just pulling out the pit lane now. So here we go then, here comes Envoy into the first corner.
Vilsec saying that Kyoto was pretty bad on tyres. Actually it was. That and this track I think will be on par, I think, with tyre wear. I think you only get 1 strong lap, and then after that the tyres will just really fall off a cliff very quickly, especially the tyre multiplier on the Beginners Cup. It's a lot stronger than what it is on normal OFR races on a Sunday, so the tyres will really fall off a cliff very quickly.
Yeah, and I'm expecting that to come into fruition later on in the lap times, especially in the actual main event, shall we say. I think it's going to catch some people out.
I'm just watching Envoy Extreme on this lap. He's up on his time, but he did look to be struggling a little for the first sector, so maybe he's just not as comfortable with the lap as some of the other drivers. He is 6 seconds up on his time, but he seemed like he was hesitant there in the opening part of the lap, so we'll see how he does in this final sector.
By the way, we've had a cheer from one of Smalley's biggest fans. Dad's the best, hope he wins. Love Casey. That will be one of his daughters, bless.
Anyway, Envoy in this final sector, and just looking at the way he's putting the throttle and everything, he does just look like he's tiptoeing his way around the lap, so maybe he's not put as much practice in as maybe some of the others, or maybe he's just not as comfortable around here, which unfortunately I don't think means he's not going to be doing too well. But we'll see what the lap is as he comes round to a close. It's an improvement on his previous lap, but I don't think it's going to improve on many positions. He does improve, in fact he's only half a tenth behind Hazy with that lap, and Mick improves on his time as well, puts him into...
Ben's run wide.
Ooh, and a spin from Hazy. He might just be able to get in another lap if he can get across the line in 20 seconds. It might be quite close though.
I don't think he will. I think that's the end of his quali.
Yeah, he's gone.
Tyres look shot. Looks like Ben didn't listen to the advice that he was given from Rod Hammerbush. Go fast on the straight bits and slow in the twisties.
Jardy Boy meanwhile was purple in the middle sector, so here comes through the twisty final sector. Seems to be quite difficult. We'll see how he can handle the Toyota FT1 round there. It's not an easy end to the lap here, but if you can get it right, it does feel good. It's probably where you can make more time than anywhere else on the track.
Smalley's also purple middle sector.
And Weird TV crosses the line just to go even quicker, so that's Weird TV's qualifying done. So we'll see if Jardy Boy and Smalley, who seem to be his contenders for pole, if they can catch up to him there. Jardy Boy comes round now to end the lap. Is he going to be good enough for pole? Not quite. What about Smalley? Smalley, I think the last one that can realistically challenge for the pole position. Jardy Boy didn't quite have enough in him. What about Smalley in the Mercedes? We'll see if he's got what it takes to take the pole position away yet again.
There's possibly Nils as well. I don't know what his sector times are. Heading onto the start-finish line now.
Oh, Nils gets up into second. Interesting. So what about Smalley then? Could Smalley improve to find any time? Smalley goes second and only just beating Nils. The top four.
This is the top four covered by 4/10.
He did really well then. He was losing hand over fist. 2 seconds down in sector 3 was Smalley. So that's a massive improvement in sector 3.
And Envoy managed to get another lap in, which actually seems to just go quicker than his. He was still in the fixie box, and I think he's not having a lap anymore. Multi's done as well, so I believe everyone is finished. So that is your grid. It is Weird TV pole position. Smalley second. Nils and Jardy Boy in the 2 Toyotas starting in the top 4. And it looks like it's going to be close if this qualifying was anything to go by.
Meanwhile, there's been advice from a good friend of ours, Martin, for Ben. Hazy tried going straight on the twisty bits.
Yes.
I don't think that'll work, Martin. But, you know.
I think he was pointing out the reason why he went wrong, rather than giving him advice, Ash.
Fair enough. That might be me reading it wrong. Never mind, Othed.
He's now doing donuts on the main straight.
Well, why not?
He's just got to be a little bit careful with that neck.
Oh dear.
To be fair though, starting at the back on a track like this as the old Charger to the first corner, there's very much a high chance of accidents here, so might be
right.
Could be good for him.
I hope you're wrong.
Yeah. Here we go then.
Thanks, Martin. I know I'm a legend.
Here we go then. There is the grid for the 4th round of this Beginners Cup Championship. It's very close at the moment in the top 4. Weird TV on the pole position with Smalley on the front row with him. We'll now eagerly await to see as the lights come on and we're ready to go for the Autopus race here. The engines rev. And it's lights out, and away we go. Smalling's had a great start, and he's already looked to have pulled away from Weird TV on the line. I think Nils has started to drop back a bit, and I think Mick's behind on the outside. There's a couple of cars on the grass on the outside there, but Smalley takes the lead heading into the first corner. Weird TV's dropped a little bit down into second place, but everyone looks to have gotten through the first corner relatively well. It's been a good start for Envoy. She's managed to get up into 5th place on the first corner, and now Mick's dropped back to 6th.
Yeah, I'm just watching Ben on the charge from the back. Doing great off the line. Hassling Mick in that. Coming out of that first turn.
Yeah, we've got Nils and Jardy Boy very close, and Smalley and Weird TV are also quite close. We've got Weird TV all over the back of Smalley, but I don't think he's going to quite be able to find his way through there into turn, as they head now through turn 9, and I don't think it's going to be quite enough. His Weird TV is going to try it on the outside though, as they head up into the turn 10 hairpin. Hard on the brakes, Weird TV goes straight down the inside and he has taken the lead, but will Smalley be able to get the run on him on the exit as they head down the hill, down the straight? I don't think there's going to be quite enough there, but now we've got Jardy Boy and Nils still very close to each other. Jardy was staying ahead of Nils. Mick's pulled a bit of a gap to Hazy though, as Envoy's managed to drop side by side with Multi in the background. Multi's going to try it around the outside, but that's not quite enough there. Envoy actually takes the grass now. Multi's going to try a cutback Z through turn 12, and I don't think Envoy's managed to hold on just for now.
Meanwhile, Smalley is still following Weird TV all the way at the end of the lap. This is going to be a very interesting fight. This will be the first time properly we've seen these two actually going head to head after Smalley's race of an interesting kind last week. This will be first proper head to head. We'll see if what could be the 2 championship contenders ultimately.
So yeah, we They did start out battling, but then later at the beginning of the race he made a mistake and had to recover from it. And I think Jardy Boy's gone a bit deep into the first corner, so allowed Nils to get the run on him on the exit. He's not quite close enough now, but to make the move, is Nils going to go for it down the inside into turn 2? I don't think he's going to go for it. Breaking, he's very close, but not quite close enough. But a slight mistake there from Jardy Boy. Nils was all over the back of him. Mick, meanwhile, is not too far away from the two Toyotas. If they ever come in together, Mick could be on for the top 3.
You just need to sit and take advantage. What I would be looking to do at this point is just try and save a bit of fuel running behind a couple of cars, even maybe Smalley in second. Just sit behind Weird TV and just try and save a bit of fuel before the pit stops, so you can maybe try and jump in the pits rather than waiting to do it on track.
Meanwhile then, Smalley in the slipstream room as they head down the hill toward turn 11. He's not quite close enough there though. It almost looks like Smalley's going to try and go for the move the same way Weird TV got him on the previous lap, but he didn't in the end, and Jardy Boy's made another mistake and has had a spin. Almost had a spin into his teammate. He's just about managed to keep him without taking themselves off, but now Mick's all over the back of them. But luckily for them, this final sector's not really a good place to be overtaking someone, so they might just be able to hold station for now.
Mick's just got to tuck in behind now, follow around on this last of the section 3.
By the way, I must point out.
Oh, we've had a spinner. It's Weird TV who's had a spin at turn 18 there, and he's gone off and round, and he's rejoined the track as Hazy's about to come up right behind him. But luckily, Hazy just about avoids him, gets a bit of a wobble on as he goes around him there, but Hazy manages to keep on the track, and that's released Smalley into the lead now.
That's Smalley did the right thing. He just waited. Just was patient, and then as soon as he could put a little bit of pressure on, he cracked. Simple as. Now Smalley will be very, very happy to be back out in front.
Whereas last week we had Smalley spinning at the beginning of the race, this time it's Weird TV, so we'll see if Weird can manage to make his way back through the field, and Weird TV is immediately trying to find his way around the outside at turn 2 on Hazy, but Hazy shows him it's not going to be as easy as that though.
And Mickey's all over the back of Yardy Boy.
He is indeed. We'll see if Mick's going to be able to go for a move. If he's just sitting behind and gradually get closer and closer, he might be able to find a place for an overtake soon. So they're all tucking in nice and tight behind. 2.5 seconds splits Nils and Smalley.
Meanwhile, Ben's defending really well here against Weird TV. Just taking the middle line, not too defensive. It's working out okay so far in this defence.
Now that's the question.
I was going to say it's going to be a question of can Weird TV do something a little bit different on strategy to try and get back through the field, because it is going to be difficult to overtake round here.
It is, yeah. Maybe he could try and just stay out a little bit longer than everyone else and really try and jump them on the overcut. He also Weird TV tried the outside, but then he ran a little bit wide, and so that cost him a tiny bit of time there, but he's doing a great job at the moment of just staying ahead.
What I was just going to point out as well is with Mick's car this week, there's a tribute to a friend of his that sadly died a couple of weeks back, so he's got one of the Fusilier badge that he represented. And also he's got a pop behind his car, which is a nice touch.
So meanwhile,
TV's down the inside of Ben.
Although he's going back for it into the first corner, he's switched to the inside and tried back down the inside, and he gets ahead, although Weird TV manages to come back on him, and Weird TV retakes that position. So Weird TV got him on the straights, and then Ben tried it again down the inside before eventually I think he just ran a little bit too deep, and that allowed Weird TV to get straight ahead, and now he can focus on closing down that 9.3 seconds gap he's got to Mick.
Ben wants to tuck in here now and allow Weird TV to pull him round to get on the back of Mick.
Meanwhile, Smalley is starting to just drag away from Nils a little bit. He's now 2.5 seconds or so ahead of Nils, so he's just starting to drag that gap out a little bit.
Meanwhile, Mick's staying very close to Jardy at the moment, so maybe Mick could just try and stay a bit closer if he can get him onto the main straight. But it's very difficult to stay too close to a car in this final sector, and they do seem to be struggling with TV's. Actually, Not gaining in on Mick by anything substantial at the moment, so we'll see. It might take a while for him to close back down, but the top four generally are starting to space themselves out a bit, but they seem to be struggling to stay close enough to go for an overtake on them, and that could be a scene we see, and that's suddenly as Mick goes off. Mick's gone off, and now how much time will that have lost him to WT? Still just over 9 seconds, but I think it's lost way more than that, under 5 seconds now it is, as WT's had half the job easier for him.
Yeah, I was just about to say tyres and fuel for Mick look fantastic compared to the guys up front. Just that trying to push a little too hard to close the gap just cost him to run wide and stick a tyre in the dirt.
And speaking of sticking tyres in the dirt, Hazy puts all of his tyres in the dirt on the exit of first corner. As a quick trip across the gravel, that's going to allow Multi to close right onto the back of him as they head into turn 2, but he's still just under 2 seconds, or 1.5 seconds, as Multi's had a massive lag spike then.
Yeah.
That was very odd.
I thought he'd gone off the road as well.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Nils is just starting to drag the gap back on Smalley a little bit.
He is,
It's now just below 2 seconds. So this could be a possible interesting fight for the lead, and you've got Jardy Boy, who's not a million miles back as well in third.
No, Nils has got the better tyre wear at the later in the lap.
Yeah, we'll see. Nils trying to claw that gap down. Can Nils maybe smell a win here? Is he's going to go for it? I'm sure if he gets the opportunity, but Smalley's going to have to. He's going to also want to fight. So, what laps do we reckon they're going to probably start seeing some pit stops then?
Well, if you want to split into a simple 2-stop, that would be 6 and 12. I would say.
So. Maybe coming close to the first pit stop then.
Meanwhile, Nils is really closed up on the back of Smalley here. It's less than a second now, the gap. And these tyres do look in better shape than Smalley's as well.
And just compared to the lap time, Smalley's had a bit of a moment into the first corner. It's looking like the back end's getting a bit loose for him. Just comparing the previous lap, Smalley did a 48.1, whereas Nils did a 46.9, so it's just a little over a second a lap faster at the moment, is Nils compared to Smalley, and that's what's allowed Nils to just really claw him, but now he's caught onto the back of him. Is he going to have the place to overtake him?
I don't know. I think it's going to be, may have to hang on until the end of the lap where they may come to the pits together. It'll be quite interesting to see what happens.
And there is Envoy Extreme being lapped, but he pulls out of the racing line and lets both Smalley and Nils through, but Nils is now right onto the back of Smalley, as we expect to maybe start seeing some pit stops around now, so it's possible that maybe we could see a change of position in the pit lane as Nils tucks right into the back of Smalley, but he's not going to be good enough to go for a move into turn 11. It's very tricky braking zone as you charge down the hill.
That is a very, very tricky braking zone. You even just brake 10 metres too late, you'll find yourself halfway back to Tokyo, I'd imagine.
It's a bit similar to Brands Hatch here.
Brands Hatch is much better.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go then, around toward the end of the lap and on through turn 18. Nils is still trying to just stay close enough, but he's dropped a little bit of time being that close to him in the final sector. Do we see them going in? Yep, they do both go in.
And
Jardy Boy's in.
Once again, lap 6. I had a lovely chat with the Japanese-led Hamazaki team, and they said tyres lasting between 6 and 7 laps, so bang on the information.
Mick and Envoy have had an accident heading into the pit lane there. They've I think they've both gone into the wall or something, so they're both sideways on the pit entry. We'll see if he's Multi going in as well. I think they're all heading into the pit. So everyone at the moment is committed onto a 2-stop, and it looks like Smalley has managed to pull out a 4-second gap over Nils. So Smalley's put in a lot less fuel than what Nils has put in, and Jardy, who's from along with behind, WT's in 4th place now with about the same amount of fuel as what Jardy and Nils have done. Smalley's put in a lot less.
Yeah, about quarter of a tank difference between the two. Well spotted there, Robbo.
Oh, well, let's see how that changes things, because that will mean that on the next stop, Smalley maybe will have to pit in early, or maybe he'll have to pit in about the same time, but put in a lot more fuel than what the others around him will put in. So we'll see how this changes things in the race, and if Nils is able to, on a heavier tank than Smalley, if he's still able to find that pace to start digging into that gap again.
Multi's jump, Mick.
Ben. Multi's jump, Ben.
Oh yeah, sorry. You're right, Ben.
So now then, Weird TV still trying to catch up. He's got about 4.2 seconds to get ahead of Jardy Boy, and in fact Weird TV's gotten ahead of Mick, because I think Mick was ahead when they pitted in.
No, I think
no.
there's just been a slight overtake before the pit lane.
Right. But yeah.
Well, that gap's increased. It's nearly 12 seconds now between Wade and Mick.
Now Weird TV's going to be trying to push to get into the back of the two Toyotas to come back for a podium. You can see them in front of him. He's still got 4.3 seconds and he's going to be driving for it. We'll see what they're doing on the lap times compared to the top three at the end of this lap to see who's lapping quickest at the moment. But that gap is just coming down ever so slightly between Nils and Smalley here.
Nils has just got a better race car just at the minute, so it appears it just seems to be looking after the tyres a little bit better. I think the Mercedes round here is just eating its tyres a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Nils has got a great throttle control, having spent a season with in that FT1 last season for OFR. It's very difficult to get it set up right where it's not too abrasive on the wheels, as well as keeping the car quite controlled. So he's doing a fantastic job. The pair of them are, to be fair.
Yeah, big shout out to Jardy Boy as well, because from where he was pre-season up until now, he has improved a great deal. So the big shout out to him, third at the minute.
It's just a few mistakes creeping in now for Mick. He's just got to take his time. He's just trying to overdrive that car in there in fifth. That gap to Weird TV in fourth is just increasing every corner.
I think the thing is as well, this track lends itself. We can possibly overdrive it just a little bit, because you do think you can push harder than what you think.
In fact, Nils sets the fastest lap on that lap with a 45.7. Comparing that to Smalley's time, he got a 46.5. Smalley makes a mistake just coming out the corner. Comes out of turn one. I think he just tried to accelerate it across the exit curve. The car spun around. He's picked up damage to the front of the car. I think it is on light, so it'll repair itself, the damage. But that is, of course, unfortunate for Smalley in that instance. And now Nils has practically been handed the lead of the race, and now he's just got to keep it, not make the same mistake.
I don't know. That seems strange. I think he did just touch the curb on the exit. Maybe he's had a little bit of grass and it's just sent the car into the wall. It's unlucky.
Yeah, it's very unlike Smalley, that. He's normally quite a clean and consistent driver. Maybe a little bit of pressure of closing Nils in behind him. It's just pushed him that bit too far.
Another thing I've just seen is the Smalley on that last lap. Smalley was the slowest of those in the top four, so maybe he's just losing time around him, and that's now allowing Jardy Boy to close in. In fact, Weird TV's closed in about a second on the back of Jardy Boy, and he's continuing to push forward. He wants that podium to come from it all, but it's at the moment looking pretty steady. They're just trying to not make mistakes, and they can hopefully just try to hold station for the rest of this race. Now we'll see what happens.
Getting on. It's been very quiet from Ben's front. Not too bad. Just under 4 seconds, so it's just gone over 4 seconds now behind ABC.
Yep, so Nils has just stretched out his gap to about 2.8 seconds over Smalley, who himself is about 3 seconds clear of Chardy Boy, and Chardy Boy is 3 seconds ahead of Weird TV. So they're all about 3 seconds from the next car, the top 4. The gap staying relatively steady between them, so see if they can close in on each other. It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is for Smalley, having a lot less fuel. He's probably going to have to come in within the next few laps, but if we're saying it's a 2-stop, then all will be on lap 2, and this could... I'm not told this could very much cost Smalley, as he's going to have to put a lot more fuel, so it's going to be stationary in the fixie box for a lot longer than any of the other drivers around him.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd actually short fuel to try and get a little bit of space to Nils, but unfortunately I think that may have worked against him. It might have just been worth making sure of the 6 laps that he needed to get to lap 12.
Yeah, it does not seem to have worked for him at the moment, as he's made the mistake and he's now sat in second place. And I don't think he's going to be able to hold it in the pit stop, so he's going to have it all to do in this final stint as they push toward the line. So we'll see what will happen here.
Meanwhile, the fastest driver in the top 4 again that last lap was Weird TV with a 45.8. Everybody else was in the 46s or worse subsequently.
Yep, Smalley
so
in the 52s.
Yeah, but he had his mistake last lap, so the Weird TV starting to make time hand over foot.
Yeah, trying to catch in. The gap's come down. It's about just over half a second from where they were about this point on the last lap, when they were about 3 seconds apart. So he's still pushing for it, and he knows the fight for podium is not over. But over 3 seconds is the gap between Smalley and Nils now.
It. Oh, well held, Ben. Sorry there, Robbo.
So,
he just touched the grass, Ben, closing him in hand over fist, got the gap down to under 2 seconds, and then just pushed a little too hard and ran wide. Easy for me to say.
Weird TV is getting quicker and quicker as well. He was faster, nearly 6/10 faster than the next fastest guy in the top 4 last lap, and he's just went purple first sector again.
He is pushing for it, but hopefully he doesn't push too hard, makes a mistake. He looked a bit squirrely at one point in the first few corners as he was really ragging that car to its absolute limit, pushing as fast as he can to see how much quicker he can close it on Chardy Boy to get into the podium. In fact, Chardy Boy is slowly getting that gap down to Smalley then, so something's going on with Smalley. He really seems to be struggling, and in fact Smalley's now got the blinking red light of doom on his fuel, so he might have to pit in now.
Mick was purple in that first sector. He still is purple.
So yeah, then maybe...
I'm wondering if Smalley is going to have to come in at the end of this lap. This is...
I think he will, because he's going to run out of fuel if he tries to go in again. I don't know whether this was intentional and he's going to try and undercut them by a lap. It might... We'll see what happens, but it's going to be a longer stint than the last time. Who's struggling with the tyres now, and he does come into the pit, so probably a lap earlier than what we expect the rest of them to come in on. So we'll see what happens with Smalley, and if he's going to be able to maybe close that gap down on that lap fresher tyres, but I'm not so sure this will work for Smalley.
He's staying on the softs.
I'm saying, so Weird TV only 2.2 seconds away from Chardy Boy. That gap is continually coming down by 10th. So every lap he's purple again in sector 1, so we'll see if he can continue to try and beat his own fastest laps. He continues now under 2 seconds, the gap between Weird TV and Chardy Boy. He's now in the top 3 after Smalley's pit stop, and Smalley comes out 25.8 seconds behind Nils, the race leader, 17 seconds behind Weird TV. So we'll see if he can jump himself back ahead of any of these.
I think also the thing as well, these top 3 will have to be in the pit lane for less time, because they'll not have to take on as much fuel as Smalley did there.
Yep, so 1.5 seconds now the gap. It's continuing to come down between Weird TV and Chardy Boy, and Chardy Boy Weird's been not up on his time in this race, and yes, Phil Stockwood, I believe everyone is 2-stopping. So we can expect to see the majority everyone else in on this lap. No one's really carried the fuel from their first stop to go to the end, and no one pitted any later than lap 6, so it does look like everyone's going to be 2-stopping. Unless someone decides to do a random 3-stop in the final few laps of the race.
Yeah, when we worked it out, the 3-stop strategy is great if you can get under the 144s. You can race constantly at 144s. The 3-stop then becomes the fastest lap, or the fastest strategy.
Nils is in. And Jardy Boy and Weird TV also got into the pits. We'll see now where he's small. He's just coming into turn 18 now. Is he going to be close enough? Nils has got practically double the amount of fuel the other two have got as well. So Nils is going to have even less time than the other two in the pits. So here we go, Nils is back out already, and he's a long way ahead of Smalley still. So he's actually extended the gap, and in fact Weird TV gets out into third, who's just jumped Jardy Boy in the pit lane. So Smalley in second place, and Weird TV's just jumped Jardy Boy in the pit. So Jardy's down to 4th place now.
I wonder if Jardy Boy might have taken on a little bit too much fuel there.
It does seem to...
There's more fuel in his tank than what there is of any of the other top 3.
Does look like a driver error there, picking up a bit too much fuel.
We'll see if he can compensate for that. He's had actually a moment in the just there. Now as he's approaching on now, he's going to have to try and see if he can compensate for that extra fuel load that he's taken on board as Weird TV in 3rd place. We'll see if Jardy Boy is able to close the gap down, but Weird TV is looking absolutely rapid and has been consistently setting purple sectors, so I'm not sure that'll be easy for Jardy Boy to do. Now Weird TV is going to be aiming himself straight back at Smalley like they were at the beginning of the race to see if they could fight each other there.
I think this is going to be the fight to watch before the end of the race. It's going to be interesting to see if Smalley can hang on to his tyres for 7 laps, or whether they just fall off a cliff towards the end of the race, because I do think he may have to fight off Weird TV for 2nd place.
Oh, sorry there, very interesting. Hayes has come out on the mediums.
When did he pit? He pit... It looks like based on the lap time he pitted lap 11, so maybe doing that extra lap on the mediums is an interesting decision there.
A guy called Ashley Stevens. Some interesting drivers. I might want for DWT GT here.
I believe that is Tracy on PlayStation.
Oh,
the real Trazix. I think that's Ashley Stevens.
Hello Ricardo Patrese. Oh no.
It's not having a great day, Ben.
He's out on the mediums. That's interesting.
Weird TV nearly looked to have a bit of a moment. He got just within a second there, small before having a slight bit of an error, but it's costing him just a couple of attempts. But I'm sure he'll be able to focus and get it back sorted again, because he is just like nearly 1.5 seconds quicker than what Smalley did on that previous lap. So if Weird TV keeps this up, he might even be on course to win here, because he's looking like the quickest driver.
That's a fantastic lap time.
Although it was his out lap, so that's why it's not the fastest lap. He set a 43.9. As there's Envoy just going off the track to stay out of the way of these two who are still continuing to battle. So Witty's really pushing and he's really going for it.
Half a second now between Smalley and Weird TV.
Vilsek's revealing his secrets in the chat, saying that he always tries to go for a one-stop in Group 2. So
Spinorama giving away the potential secrets. Who knows? Meanwhile, there's a fight for second.
Yeah, Weird TV's gotten a lot closer now, under half a second on Smalley, and he's going to try and stick in the slipstream to stay down. He's not close enough though into the braking zone for the first corner. They spot the braking just about right. Smalley though, I think he ran a little bit wide from the apex, and that's going to allow Weird TV. He's got the run on him, and he's going to try and catch up to go down the inside into turn 2, but I don't think he's close enough to go for it there. He actually was losing a little bit of time there in that run between turns 1 and 2.
This is so far a good defence here from Smalley, but it's going to be interesting to see how long he can hold off.
Is he trying it around the outside? And all this is working perfectly for Nils, because Nils is starting to run away a little bit now.
the longer this will go on, it may even bring Jardy Boy into the equation in fourth. Meanwhile, TV's just trying. He's trying. Oh, Smalley's
Where's Smalley gone? Where's Smalley gone? Smalley's gone off, and he's made a mistake at the hairpin. And I think he just broke too late, and he's got straight on, and that allows Jardy Boy to come back on him now, and he's going to close right in the substring because he's going to have a much better run on this straight as they go down the hill.
And he's got much better tyres. Smalley could end up being a sitting duck here.
Here we go then. It could be Jardy Boy, it could be on for a podium. We're running out of laps as well on lap 15 out of 18, so we're coming toward the end of this race. WeTV's got 6.3 seconds to gain in on Nils, and he's not much quicker than him on the previous lap. In fact, WeTV on lap 14, they were literally 0.02 of a second split on their lap times.
And bear in mind as well that he was being held up by Smalley on that lap as well.
So here we go then. Jardy Boy's in the slipstream. He's just 6 steps back, and he's going to try and close in and close in and close in until he's close enough to go for the overtake to Smalley. Just looks to be struggling at the moment in these final few laps. And in fact, Smalley's purple in that first sector.
I must say I do feel sorry for Smalley after having such a promising start. 2 really unusual and out of character mistakes may have cost him a place on the podium.
Fuller saying Smalley will be absolutely raging. Yeah, I agree, he will be. And then the next thing, please, I'm not in a chat with him. My portiers couldn't take it.
He's gone
really
proper.
Let's put it this way: the bleep machine would put Gordon Ramsay to shame.
It would completely deplete the OFR budget anyway. Let's put it that way.
Hold on, what budget? You're not being paid more than me, surely. I just think that Weird TV hasn't got enough time to catch up to Nils here.
I think he just spent a little bit too long behind Smalley, and had he gotten past Smalley a bit quicker, he might have been able to beat him with the shout, but it's going to be... I don't think it's been quite enough. He set a 45.6 on his previous lap, a 46.2 for Nils, so he is about pretty much just over half a second.
Vilsec's also asking what budget. I would like to know as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Robot, where are you?
Vilsec says Robert pays him in pesos.
In pesos.
Oh, Jardy Boy! Jardy Boy was almost down the inside. The Smalley just about holds him off.
So then
Jardy Boy's putting pressure on, and plus his tyres are looking in a lot better shape than Smalley's.
Oh, he's just run wide there, Jardy Boy.
So then here we go then, Smalley, whose tyres are 1 lap older than what Jardy Boy when they pitted, and of course Smalley's taking a couple of trips through the grass, so that's going to have also affected his tyre wear, so that's going to allow Jardy Boy the tyre advantage then as they head into this penultimate lap. And Jardy Boy, if he wants this podium, and I'm sure he's going to have to do it, get it done quickly because he's going to be running out of time otherwise, so we'll see if he can just sit him behind, maybe see if Smalley makes another mistake. And I'm sure Smalley's not going to want to, because Smalley's also going to be driving for this podium.
Meanwhile, I forgot to say, by the way, happy birthday, Astro.
Yeah, Ed, I can't believe it again. Your birthday comes round so fast.
Happy birthday, Astro.
It's almost like this time yesterday it was his birthday.
And also, Ulthed, you're being corrected by Fuller. It's Jardy Boy, not Yardy Boy. Thank you for that, Fuller. And
Fuller, I like the way you can correct me, but you can't sit and actually come out on track with the fellas.
Oh, he's
328
Astro's getting a happy birthday from a Tim. I don't know who Tim is, but hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim. I think that might be Tim that does the GR3 races. Anyway, Weird TV 4.3 seconds off of the back of Nils. That gap is coming down, but with this being the final lap, unless Nils makes a massive mistake, I don't think it's going to be enough for Weird TV to take the lead as he gets out of the way of Weird TV.
Oh, Tim, are you teammates with Ball Boy? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's
Tim Murtipus.
It's a Dutch national team, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's Tim Murtipus.
That's
Anyway,
it, yes.
Jardy Boy's got a run on the outside of Smalley there. Not just close enough, but Jardy is right on the back of Smalley, but he's struggling with the fact that you can't really overtake very well on this circuit. So Jardy Boy, he's much quicker than Smalley at the moment, but he's just not got the ability to get ahead. The Smalley's dipped a tyre on the grass as he goes into the braking zone.
He's held it well. That was really well held there from Smalley. That was really,
the Japanese
really well held.
team holding their breath there. All hopes of a home podium nearly went up in smoke.
Yep. Now here we go then through this final sector, and unfortunately for Jardy Boy, he's put up such a solid race today. I don't think it's enough to overtake, but it does look like he's going for it into this final sector. But this final sector, it's not the place
Nils,
you really want to overtake. And Nils does cross the line to win. Weird TV second place. Hazy, I was about to say, he finished third, but he's lapped down in seventh. Smalley looks like he's just going to hold on because the line is not far away from the final corner. So even if Jardy Boy's in the slipstream, I don't think it's been enough. Smalley does finish third, Jardy Boy fourth, Mick in fifth place in the end, Multi sixth, and Hazy already finished in seventh. And I believe Envoy Extreme left the race midway through, so well done to Nils.
He did. It's nice to see Mick having a clean race. Definitely managed to get his head in the right place after the incidents he had in GR3.
Vilsek is, for some reason, still congratulating Smalley for the win. Okay, Vilsek, I like you a lot, but what race were you watching?
He might have been watching back one of the first races by mistake.
Maybe
Yes.
he's looking out for potential seat fill.
That's a good point. Actually, Robot said he was going to assign one of the drivers to Gwen's boys after today, so...
Yeah, that's something that came up. Robot saying that there was a potential Gwen's boy seat coming. I wonder who. Multi-crossing line there in sixth as well to complete the finishers.
I think Tracy said he was looking at maybe some of the drivers for the DWT Group 2 team, so this Beginners Cup is getting noticed, and the drivers are getting noticed by OFR, so there we go. Nils wins, and he gets a clean race as well, raises himself up 2 places. Pretty decent race, that.
Yeah, well done.
That was
Well
a
done.
great race.
Yeah, well done to Nils. That was his first race for race win in OFR. So well done, Nils, indeed.
So then, next week they are racing
Bull Ring.
the Red Bull Ring.
Oh. Somebody call a wet race.
We don't
Maybe.
know. We'll find out on Monday. I believe there's something that Orthed wants to bring up as well.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Yes, I just want to dive a bit more in the Gwen's boys seat swap. What do we think could be going on there then?
I don't know. Maybe it's Robot being very, very cryptic.
Robot cryptic?
Which, you know, could be anything knowing Robot. He's quite a clever character.
Maybe he's lying to us, maybe nothing's going to actually happen, he's just getting us all excited.
Maybe Gwen's boys is his new stand-up routine.
Yeah, maybe it is, I don't know.
Yeah, I never said what Gwen's boys is. It might be a barbershop quartet or something that he's setting up. Who knows?
No,
I could just see him there now in his barbershop quartet outfit.
Gwen's Boys is actually the name of his Group 2 team, him, Havoc and Marco, I think.
No, it's not Marco. Marco's with DWT.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
nice.
I've forgotten who the third member is, but yeah, that's Gwen's boy, so that could be quite an interesting one to see.
Anyway, we'll end the stream here then. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all later.